Rock and roll, baby.
Hey guys, welcome to On the Flip Side. So this is a little bit of a uh, project that I decided to take on a while back. I guess you guys would have probably seen that there was a podcast that myself, Chips, and Bacon. Sorry, it's a lot of food here. And Popo put together. And again, this is one more of a learning thing for me as well, just to see how it works out on a one-on-one kind of situation as a podcast. So tonight I've got a friend online. I've got a special guest, Rose. Um, so just a little bit, I guess, of a premise of what this is supposed to be all about. Actually, before that, how are you, Rose?
I'm good, but I feel a little bit. So I've just taken on my usual online name, which is Rose Papillon. But after hearing the names of your previous guests, I feel bad for not having a food
You
themed
need
name.
food-related names, yeah.
I think I should retitle myself like Potato or something.
Yeah, that could also work. Hold on, let me just do this bit. What's going on here? Um, yeah. So anyway, the concept behind this stream is essentially doing, I guess, somewhat of a deep dive onto something that might not necessarily be seen as good these days. Something that people probably don't entirely like, or there's some negativity towards it. But then there's always a flip side to things. That's the premise behind this. Uh, so that's what we're aiming for today, to see how this all sort of works out. Uh, we want to see if we could find a bit of a positive to it. So I'm just gonna unveil this little thing here. So you guys probably would have seen it already now in the title that this is gonna be about Star Wars, specifically Star Wars episodes 7, 8, and 9. So I'm just gonna see if this actually works. There we go. So I've got that in there now. So that's our topic for today. Just give me a second. You're a little bit lopsided there. Are you able to move to the center of your
I'm
screen?
lopsided
There you go.
because, for those who don't know, I recently had to move back in with my parents due to losing my job. I was living at my job, but, there was no work in COVID, so on. So I'm temporarily at my parents' house, which means I don't have any of my usual setup. So my laptop is just sitting on a bed. It's a little lopsided, but we'll get by.
No, it's more like I think you moved right in the center now, so that's perfect right there.
Okay,
So
cool.
I'm hoping that you're seeing yourself on stream.
What about
No,
now?
get back in here, get back in here. Oh God, this is chaos already. We barely started
You
it here.
invited me. You knew this.
Yeah,
was
I know. So I'm just gonna shout out to everybody on stream on my Twitter, just saying that we are live. So hello everybody from the Twitterverse. Wow, does anyone even say Twitterverse these days still?
Twitter Ross. Oh no, that's because I'm on Game of Thrones Twitter all the time. That's Twitter Ross. Bird app. Call it the Bird app.
The Bird app, yeah, that'll do. The Bird app. Let me just retweet this one here. How do I retweet? There we go. Come join us. Okay, so before we actually sort of get into the meat of it, how are you? Like, I want to go in here because I know that we're going to be speaking a little bit about, Star Wars, but in this kind of situation, right? So the idea behind this actually came to me because at the moment, obviously, we are in a crappy situation with lockdowns and whatnot. So let's warm things up a little bit by discussing what sort of what's a good thing that's to come out of the current situation. Is there anything at the moment? So to get us started off, I think for me, the thing that I've really come to enjoy at this stage is decorating. So behind me at the stage, it's like little bits and pieces that I pieced together. There's a bit of a purple light in the back there, you can see. It's I found that it's like Mary Kondoing my room here. It's quite relaxing to actually just go ahead and redecorate and think about these things that I want to change in my room and add little bits in there. So I got a little projector going in the back there, and that's mostly just a really, really cheap projector that I got from, what's it called? From eBay.
See, I've got one on order from Kmart, so.
There you go. At the moment, I think I needed some kind of app to actually control it, but I think because it's one of those dodgy Chinese apps, I did not want to touch it and install it. Hey Ryan, how's it going? So Ryan's on just saying hello right there.
What's up, Ryan?
What's playing on the projector? Just some random graphic that I found. Sorry, I'm just gonna play this now because I just realized we're a little bit quiet in here. Hopefully you guys can hear.
No one's ever called me quiet ever in my life.
Well, no. This is one of those things that just... So this is from Stream Beats. Ryan, can you hear us with the music in the background? Makes this a little bit more lively. I just put random music there. Yes. Let's say yes. Yeah. So, what's a little bit of a positive thing that sort of happened in your area?
Well, I lost my job, so that part wasn't great.
That sucks. So what's the flip side of that?
Let's see. Okay, so I was the manager of a boarding kennel, so like a pet hotel. I looked after people's dogs and cats when they went on holiday. And actually, last Christmas was the busiest Christmas we'd ever had. We had like 300 animals there, and it was so busy. But every time we go into lockdown, people can't go on holidays, so they don't book in their animals. So we go from an average of 40 to 50 animals down to just 2, which is what we had on my very last day. And, it's almost been a year in lockdown now.
It's more than that, really.
It's just too much. So that's been pretty heartbreaking. At the start of lockdown last year, I began making candles. Which resulted in me spending a lot of money buying all the wax and jars and scents and everything. But as it turned out, every other white woman in her 30s also spent time making candles in lockdown. Yep. So the market was oversaturated, and I maybe made $300 all up. But I
probably actually did get something sold. Okay.
Yeah, but I spent over $1,000. So scrap that. Then I got into cross-stitching. Then I got into drawing for a bit, got into painting for a bit, realized that I really suck at painting.
You're good at drawing, though. I remember the drawing that you did of Nobu, so I'll probably show it to stream later. That's great. Still love that. Still got on my thing right now.
That was probably my most successful little lockdown endeavor. And then I, as work got quieter and quieter and things were looking more and more bleak, I developed a new hobby, which was staring up at the ceiling while lying on my couch all day.
Okay.
That was less productive.
Yep, I can imagine.
And now I'm at my parents' house because I had to move out last week due to work stuff.
Yep.
Obviously, as I said, I used to live at work and there was no work, no job for me. So now I'm in between jobs. And it's weird because I haven't actually lived at my parents' house for years. It's a bit of an adjustment, but that's okay.
Cool.
It's temporary. We'll get by.
Yeah. So hopefully that's all just eventually coming to its end, and we're gonna hear more stuff from me. But actually, in case anybody's actually watching, I've decided I'll just keep wearing my pajamas because I already started wearing it, and put a suit on top of it. So.
I thought we decided we were both going to wear bling bras. What happened, man?
Yeah, I don't know. Mine's still in the wash, so.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
I couldn't get that out in time. So So pajamas was what it was. It's got, I think it's, what is this, monkey? Yeah, it's a monkey in there. Monkey dreaming of bananas. So that's how it works out. So all right. So let's get on with the actual topic today. So obviously, as I said, we're going to be discussing Star Wars. Specifically episode 7, 8, and 9. We're not going to discuss the first 3. We might talk about them just in passing, but the focus of this is obviously on the brand new stuff. Now, I think it's safe to say at this stage that they are not exactly well liked by the general fan base. A lot of it probably stems from the fact that they're inconsistent. They have no direction. They have nothing to cohesive to actually carry them through. At least that's my take on it in terms of what I've sort of seen everybody talk about it, and put on that. On top of that, obviously, there's other negative things as well. Specific things that people didn't quite like. Specific relationships within each characters. So, I guess before we actually go into the meat of it in terms of the what's on the flip side of this, what do you reckon? What are your top hates? I mean, there's a lot of things to not like. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. But let's just list down what you think in here.
All right. Number one thing I hate, and this is controversial because I know it has a large fan base. I cannot stand Rey and Kylo Ren as a romantic pairing. It actually, like, it makes my skin crawl. Usually I don't really care about that sort of thing, but I hate it. I have such a revulsion to that. Is that the right word? I'm repulsed by it. There we go. We'll go with that.
Revulsion, repulse, exactly the same thing. It works out.
It's the same thing. Yeah, exactly. And that number one thing I hate. Number 2 thing I hate is they wasted Finn. I think Finn in The Force Awakens was shaping up to be an extreme. Like, I was so invested in his character. I was really excited to see where he went, and the answer was nowhere. Number 3, how did they not know where they were going with the storyline when they wrote the first film? Like, there's no direction. And for a multi-million-dollar franchise, you got the original 3 actors back. How did you stuff up the most basic point of just writing where the story was going, of giving the story and the characters any sort of logical direction? It's not there. So there you go. Yeah,
that's a good set of points in there. So obviously you are not a fan at all of the kiss scene at the end.
I was a fan of the fact. Okay, so they kissed.
Actually, by the way, everybody, guys, we will be discussing spoilers here. And seriously, if you have not seen them at this stage, you probably don't care anyway. So we're going to go on with it.
There's nothing worth spoiling.
Exactly.
It's, disappointment in the form of a Star Wars movie. No, look, when Rey and Kylo kissed, I was like, ugh, God, no, they went there. But then he died, and I was like, oh, that's all right.
It's all right. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's okay.
See, okay. So for me, I think the biggest thing that disappointed me here was kind of one specific instance, which sort of symbolized everything else that was wrong in general when I look back on it. And that's basically, it's the trip to the casino planet. The casino planet with Finn and what's her name? Rose, that's it. Same name as you. But now the reason why I say that is because, for starters, let's go with the plot hole here. The fact that these guys, obviously this happened in the middle of a chase scene when the rebels were trying to escape. So suddenly you could now send out a small ship and escape this little thing faster than these guys could do it. Faster than they could escape the actual First Order, and they were able to escape in there. And to me, in my mind, I was already thinking, if they could get these guys out, it was 2 of them out of that ship, and they still had that tracking beacon on Leia, and so that they could still find them. Couldn't they conceivably take people out 2 at a time, or even 1 at a time, in the amount of time that it took in there? I don't know how many people there are in there, but even if it couldn't have been that bad. You could have probably fit more people in there, and look, that would have solved your problem right there. So from a plot perspective, it was already bad, and from a conceptual perspective, when you look at then what they did in the casino planet, it was just preachy crap. It was bizarre. It was exactly, that was just it. It was just bizarre, that really had no point to it. Like, this is now become some kind of, I don't know, political messaging tool. Which is, look, I get that if you sort of think back to the Star Wars kind of thing, it was a product of its time, and the product and its got themes relating to those times, but it wasn't preachy. They never actually. Their main focus have been about the entertainment, about giving out a good story. It wasn't about using it as a platform for spreading message, whatever it might be. And it's fine to do that, but I did not like that was their main focus.
It was so forced.
Exactly.
And out of place.
Out of place. Completely out of place.
Such a waste of time.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
And I think, thirdly, the reason why I didn't like it is because it, again, symbolizes the reason why eventually all three of them were crap. And in that, it felt like it was just something that was slapped in there because the current director, so it's an inconsistent director. There was no consistency in anything that they did. So the Force Awakens was all about nostalgia baiting, getting everybody into it again.
Yeah.
Which was great. I think it worked.
It was good fun.
It was good fun. Definitely good fun. It was something.
I can't wait to see where this is going.
Exactly. But then they handed it to a different director who had a completely different message.
They gave him no instructions.
No instructions. And look, I could almost sort of forgive it that, he tried to take it to a different direction. But then when they got the backlash, and they definitely did, they listened to it instead of sticking to their guns. Exactly. So that now the last movie was all about fixing what happened to the previous movie. So it's essentially doing the job of two movies. It's doing it. It almost felt like if you got rid of episode 8, it wouldn't have mattered. Essentially,
it wouldn't have.
It wouldn't have. And that's
didn't
like
mean anything.
And that to me is like the biggest slap in the face. You might not be able to do something so well, but at least stick to your guns. That's what I felt like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that one scene there is really the thing that drives it home for me. That it's inconsistent. It's just out of nowhere, and it was pointless. So yeah.
I think one of the funniest moments for me was, and I believe we were there together at the midnight screening for both of those, for all three of the films actually, but particularly The Rise of Skywalker. And the opening titles come up, and the opening titles with no build-up, no explanation whatsoever are just like, suddenly Palpatine is back. And I'm looking around like, is this a joke? Is this is a fake movie? When are we going to get the real movie?
Yeah,
and then, no, sure enough, they just off screen, they're just like, Palpatine has somehow returned.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to accept that?
Yeah. No foreshadowing, nothing.
That?
Nothing whatsoever. And yeah, this is your reality now. Like
it was something that a child would come up with. I used to work at a primary school for a year, and the little kids, like I'm talking your grade 2s, your 8-year-olds, would write something like that, like, oh, suddenly the villain's back. And you'd be like, why is the villain back? And they'd be like, oh, he just is. And you're like, fair enough, 8-year-old logic. This is a proper, as I said, this is an expensive film with a massive fan base. You can't just be like, suddenly Palpatine's back, I don't know.
Yeah. Just supremely dissatisfying, all of it. So, I guess, after all of that, what can we say that now that I'm sort of thinking back on this is actually a bigger challenge than I actually anticipated, to actually see if there's something to salvage out of all of this. So yeah, so what are your thoughts? So if there's anything that you want to sort of start us off with?
Yes, but it's not strong.
Okay.
All right. No, I have to remember it. All right. Like, Force Awakens is a standalone film I actually really enjoy. I thought it had such a strong beginning. It had a lot of promise, and it felt like they had a direction. It felt like they were building up to something. I definitely thought from the first movie that they were hinting that Rey and Finn would end up together.
Mm-hmm.
I was down for that. Let's do that. That sounds great. Gwendolyn Christie was in it as Captain Phasma, and I thought, because she's one of my favorite actresses.
I love her armor. It's so unique.
Amazing. Like, her design, the fact that she was a girl, totally down with that. I can't wait to see where this goes. I never liked Kylo Ren, even in the first movie, and then when he killed Han Solo, I was like, he's a jerk. Can't wait to see him die. But The Force Awakens, as I said, as a standalone movie, I think is fine. I think it's. I mean, I'm never going to rewatch it now, knowing that there's no payoff.
Mm-hmm.
That all these questions, all these theories that I had watching it the first time around, waiting for the next film to come out, none of those eventuated, and that is really disappointing. And now I can't sort of go back and revisit that film with the same joy. So that's a shame. I think there was so much potential. It was great to see Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill all back together again. But what a waste that they never got to appear in the same scene together once.
That's very true, yes.
What
Ryan
a waste.
saying episode 7 had everything set up for 8 and 9 to be great. Yeah, totally agree. Definitely that. It's... Yeah. That
A lot of wasted potential.
wasted potential. I mean, even just from the trailers, I was just so hyped.
Oh,
The Force Awakens, the trailer. That even got me to go back into Blender 3D animation, create like a Blender file there of a TIE fighter exploding and whatnot, and then get myself all dressed up in cosplay, and then get Kay to also then cosplay as a random Sith. And we had this battle going on, took a photo shoot of that one just because of that trailer. I loved it so much that I wanted to capture something that's going on in there that's sort of separate from all of it. And yeah, that inspired me for that.
That's how I ended up cosplaying as Slave Leia, because, you know, I heard Star Wars was coming back, rewatched the original movies. I mean, I rewatch them every year, but it was different. It was like, oh my god, now we're getting the next chapter. This is so exciting.
Yeah.
And, so I cosplayed Slave Leia, and that was fun. Can't wear that costume anymore.
It's gone. It's now tainted.
Still tainted.
Ryan says, then we got the Luke drinking booba milk. That's
Oh,
it. I'm
geez.
out of here.
That, again, like, both The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, I feel like I entered an alternate timeline, and neither of those films are real films. I think that they were practical jokes, and we just haven't understood it yet.
Yeah. Okay, so something that I was always thinking about. Even this actually occurred to me even when, even pretty much soon after the movie came out. Like this is episode 8. What's episode 8 called again?
Last Jedi?
Yeah, that's it. Last Jedi. Which again, it's coming off of Force Awakens. The Last Jedi was like, whoa, what does this mean? Holy crap! This is gonna be
Jedi, more like the last part.
this is gonna be so epic. Blah blah blah. So again, I hated. Obviously, I already said it, and I'm gonna try to refrain from saying it again. I hated the casino planet. But I actually started to appreciate. Again, this is probably one of those things that people aren't gonna agree with. But I actually started to appreciate the fact that they deviated from the duality, the two sides of light and dark, and that Luke decided to actually go in the middle. And now I bring this up here, coming from someone who has played like various Star Wars games, and to me, a lot of the things that he sort of did in that didn't even really feel weird, because they were force powers that have been explained, have been used in various forms or another in other games. And to me, that scene there when Luke sort of just faded away, I actually thought that is badass. I know people that's not like that. The fact that he just sort of just never actually even properly had a lightsaber duel, which again, I would have loved to see like a proper one instead of just that dodging stuff. But the fact that I'm doing this on the flip side and trying to see this for a positive light. The fact that he was able to head off everything and give them a chance to escape from so far away truly shows the power that he's got. And to me, that was important. Whether it could have been done better by actually being there and actually fighting, that's a separate issue. We're never gonna know because this is now canon. But to me, that was there. It's a confirmation of all the things that I've already seen in other games that I've played, specifically Star Wars: The Old Republic, where there's these super powerful Sith and Jedi duking it out in its really epic battles, and showing all these power that a lot of the people, I guess, in the cinema may not have actually seen before, for casual viewers. For a lot of people, obviously, it's mostly going to be just about the movies. It's not about the stuff on the sides, either the text or the games that are associated with it. So there's those things in there, and that's what I appreciated about it. And I was almost really I was close to forgiving it until the episode 9 came out, and they just said, nah, stuff it, we don't care, it doesn't exist, this movie. Any kind of
disregarded everything.
Any kind of development that they've already got with Luke, for better or worse, I felt that they really should have actually stuck to it and actually even went along with it and actually got even more into it. We still got Luke in the end as a Force ghost, but he was just basically a whiny Force ghost that didn't want to. So that's the thing that I really was hoping for. And that's the thing that I really liked about it. Is that it just went a different direction, because you've had all of these previous Star Wars that are just all about the Skywalker family, and I feel like it really, at the end, it had to end. And I guess that brings me into my next point, in that at the very least, I am actually glad that it ended, that the Skywalker lineage ended in episode 9, that we are now free. Whether that's a good thing because of who's still in charge and what other kind of ideas they want to do with Star Wars in the future, I don't know if that's going to be good. But if it's anything to do with the relative popularity of Mandalorian, then I think there's still some good ideas out there.
See, I wouldn't rule out, but then they did that flip at the end where Rey gets asked, "Oh, what's your name?" and she just decides, "I'm Rey Skywalker."
I'm Rey Skywalker.
Like, that's weird, but all right, go with that. So I wouldn't rule out the possibility of her having future Skywalker children. I mean, there's no blood relation, but there is the name.
The name.
Speaking of, maybe there is a blood relation. All right, so I got this weird theory. Hear me out. Rey and Kylo. Oh no, wait, it wouldn't work unless Kylo was the father. If Kylo were the father of Rey's children,
Force father.
Force father,
Sure.
maybe. Who knows? I mean, I wouldn't put it past them.
We had Darth Vader. Just
I would not
imagine
put
him.
it past them. She's just having Force sex with these Force ghosts and Force babies. But here's the thing, right?
He did die on the light side, so he could be a Force ghost.
I mean, I don't know what the limitations of Force ghosts are. Yoda started the fire.
Yeah.
Maybe? No, look, here's my problem though, right? I mean, I have a lot, but specifically, I feel like Rey and Kylo Ren are actually related. Now, I might be wrong about this, but here's the thing. Anakin Skywalker was created by Palpatine through Shmi, right? Palpatine just like force impregnated her from a distance. Does that technically make him his biological father? Because if Palpatine is the biological father of Anakin Skywalker, then he is the biological grandfather of Kylo Ren.
Yeah, I get where you're going with this, yeah.
Exactly, and Rey, I don't know why, is also the grandchild of Palpatine, because apparently he had sex.
Just, see,
It's so disturbing.
The mental imagery of that one was really what sort of got me, like, whoa, really?
Well, somebody figured out timeline-wise, like, when his daughter would have been conceived, and Palpatine's face was in a melty state at, I mean, I suppose he's got a lot of money and power, but shit. I wish they'd established, if there were ever any hints that Palpatine had a bloodline, that he had children, maybe it would have been more accepting, but instead it was like, oh, Palpatine's suddenly back, and guess what? He had children? He had sex? Like, no, he didn't. No, he's not. What are you talking about? Bizarre. Anyway, technically they're related, and I cannot be convinced otherwise. Another reason why I hate the ship.
Hold on, I just realized I recognize all the music that I'm playing here, which is not great, because I'm trying to avoid any kind of what's it called, copyright stuff in here. So, all right, I'm gonna hopefully. Here we go. This is non-copyrighted music, so hopefully this is all good now. I just realized it was Pendulum playing in there. Going, that's definitely copyrighted.
A bit on the nose.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully that wasn't really heard very well. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go with visceral things that I really liked at these things. Number one, the first time that the what's his name? The cocky pilot. What's his name? Poe. I love that scene where when he first came in
to
rescue. Yeah, in Force Awakens, where he was coming into the rescue of Finn and Han, and they were in the ground, and he was just shooting shit out of it everywhere. There, that to me was like superb. And
that was beautiful.
That was beautiful, and I was essentially doing the same thing that Finn did at that time, which was just go, woohoo, yeah, that's a pilot right there. And I think that again, as the movies went on, that's one thing that I sort of missed, that these epic moments of piloting were sort of squandered, especially in episode 2. Again, episode 8. They sort of tried to do that again in episode 9, but episode 8 had none of that X-Wing action, really. Except for the bombing run. Yeah, there was the bombing run, which, again, opened up. Alright. He just made Hux into this comic relief in the process.
That's right, they turned him into a comic relief, and then suddenly in the last film it was like he's a spy because he hates Kylo Ren. Yeah. Alright.
I actually like the humor in at least that part there. Started to get a little bit more flat towards the end. I'm really trying to struggle to actually find the flip side of this thing here. Every time I find something good, there's always something that sort of makes it a little bit bad later on. But yeah, so the little humor at the start. But the thing is, to me, the thing that I found funny about that wasn't so much because of the whole I'm on hold kind of thing. It was the irony of it that. Did they actually have phones in the Star Wars universe? Did they have call centers? That to me was like the thing that, it probably wasn't the thing that should have been running in my head, but that was what was in my head at the time. It's like, did they have like call centers out there with a bunch of Twi'leks answering calls and going, hey, this is the Empire, I'll put you on hold right now. And
it seems like they do.
Yeah, it seems like they did, and I feel like that's gonna be an interesting Star Wars story, like more interesting than the bloody casino planet. ASFE Hux equals budget fulcrum.
One of the things that really surprises me, and I still encounter it every now and then on Twitter, because I'm not really active anywhere else, but Twitter Star Wars, I've seen a bit of this. There are some people who absolutely loved The Last Jedi, and they will defend it. Like, they love Rian Johnson, and they just, anytime anybody says a negative thing about The Last Jedi, they come in and kind of try to defend it. And I don't understand. I feel like asking them sometimes, like, did we see the same movie? Because all I saw was a frustrating series of faults. And, Luke drinking titty milk from a sea cow.
Okay.
There was no benefit. Like, I didn't say anything positive. I guess the scene where, like, Luke astral projects himself onto the planet to, like, piss off Kylo Ren, that was pretty fun. I'll give it that. Kylo Ren appearing topless with those really high pants was amazing for me.
Okay.
Like,
to
I
me,
could make
like,
jokes about that for days, and I did. But
you know what? That just reminded me of Ian Thorpe in the Olympics. That's
yes.
That's the only thing I was thinking about at the time.
It was strange and unnecessary, but it gave me a laugh.
Yeah. Big Friendly Gamer saying, I just felt Luke wasn't Luke.
But so much of the film was just plot holes. Like, when you thought about it, you'd realize how stupid it was. Like, the casino planet, ultimate example. That was so stupid. That was just a waste of half an hour. Nothing was gained from it. I sort of suspected, because as I said before, in The Force Awakens, I felt like the setup was for Finn and Rey to become a romantic couple. But then Rian Johnson gets handed The Last Jedi. He's not given any direction on where to go. And this is true. He asked his mum. have you got any ideas? And she said, well, I'd really like it if Kylo Ren and Rey ended up together. So he went a romantic direction with Kylo Ren and Rey, which I hate. More about that later.
Yeah.
But then that means, well, now what are you going to do with Finn? Now Finn's no longer the love interest for Rey. So they were like, oh, well, we'll give him his own love interest. And I feel like that's what the purpose of the Casino Planet storyline was. It was for Rose and Finn to, you know, bond. And then, of course, she kisses him at the end.
Yeah.
But it was so badly written that when she does kiss him, I'm sitting there going, hang on, but was she romantically in love with him? Because I didn't get that. I got that they were just buddies. And now suddenly she's kissing him. Like, I guess that's happening.
Yeah. Angry Lake just saying in here, the planet he's on wasn't lukewarm.
Ha.
Yeah. So, yeah, Lake is known, one of the buddies from Final Fantasy 14. He's known for his dad jokes. Let's call him that. So, nice. Thanks, Lake. Thanks.
Very good.
Seppi again saying it wasn't so bad when you skip all the casino scene, but also JJ did Ryan dirty. Yeah. That's what we were just saying before.
Absolutely he did. I mean, like, Ryan Johnson was put in such a terrible situation. Like, I don't know that I could have done better than him. He was only given it was like a really short amount of time to write the script. And J.J. Abrams literally did not give him a single scrap of direction. So, you know, good on him for trying. But I'm sure that even he looks back and goes, oh, wait a minute, that one plot line was really dumb, wasn't it? For example, there was that whole storyline where Poe was going to try and rebel against Leia because he thought, oh, they've got some secret plan, they're not telling us.
Oh god,
and he's like, I don't trust them anymore, we're going to rise up, we're going to rebel.
I almost forgot about this. Okay, yeah, go on. I forgot about this scene here. Yeah, but yeah,
you forget about it because it was dumb. And then, you know, and then Leia, like, of course, shows him up and she's all like, yeah, no, you're not rebelling against me, that's really dumb, here's our plan, by the way. And he's like, oh, that does make sense. But why did she not just tell him to begin with? There was no reason to keep him in the dark and create suspicion. Yep. And then the movie wasted so much time on that. On Poe not trusting Leia and her
and the second in command afterwards, the other Admiral.
Yeah. Purple haired. I don't even remember her name because I never watched the film again. Like, what was the point of that? If there was a legitimate reason to keep the agenda hidden from Poe, then it would have been a funny reveal when, like, oh, that idiot.
And again, this has become...
But there was actually no reason to keep him in the dark. And no wonder he got suspicious.
And I hate to say it, but the Admiral Holdo, thanks, Sephi. So there is an agenda, but unfortunately it wasn't an agenda about the actual story. It was just, again, political messaging. Yeah. It's like, yes, there's toxic masculinity. We agree. That's a true thing. And that's the message they're trying to convey here. But it didn't make sense in the context of a story.
It was forced. Once again,
it was forced. It was forced into it. It was very shoehorned. I don't know where that came from. Yeah, we do. But anyway, let's not go in that direction. So that's the frustrating thing about it. And I feel like I don't know how much to believe of this. Obviously, when the actual press releases and all that came out, Rian Johnson is basically saying that, yeah, look, he's actually a big Star Wars fan himself and knew all about some of the lores behind it. And again, I think that's probably where he took the inspiration for the force projection. And, you know, it's not something that he just came up with. And as much as a lot of fans out there seem to just think that this just came out of the blue, that this is a power that's just so weird, it isn't. It's actually a very much thing. It's something that's definitely existed in the Star Wars wider universe. And I really appreciated that Rian Johnson knew about these things in here, that he was able to make use of this one and able to actually use that particular power really well. That's probably it's definitely the highlight for me. That and the moment when Luke actually dies and his cloak fell and he just disappeared into the thing. He was actually looking at the sunset and it was just very, very poetic because it's now reflecting everything that he started back with. And I felt like it was a good, as much as you can say it, it was a good way to die in that sense, as far as I'm concerned, because it sort of bookend his beginning and his end. The point of his death, that's more contentious, but just from a scene to scene perspective. I really appreciated that that's how they ended it. But yeah, because of this, that showed to me again that Rian Johnson wasn't actually just a random person that they pulled out there. He was someone that actually still knew what it was to be a Star Wars fan and knew the lore behind it and the stuff that's actually surrounding it. And that's what was great about it. The things that sort of made sense anyway. So that's where it all came from. The stuff that was good, but the things that were bad were with the fact that he didn't have direction and probably got conflicting advices on how to do this movie and where it came in from and where it was supposed to leave off of. It's kind of a hard thing to be a middle child, I guess. You know, you're coming off the success of episode 7, which, you know, for a while there I was actually just continually looking at the box office takings of that movie, and I was like, please let this be bigger than Avatar, please let it's just one of those pride moments that I've got, that, you know, beat that box office record and all that kind of thing, which in the end I don't think it ever did, but yeah, it's where do you go from there? Unfortunately, they didn't give him a direction. They didn't tell him what to do.
They didn't, and to me the responsibility for that all falls on Disney and J.J. Abrams, because they knew that they were going to make 3 films. So
yeah, exactly. That was very obvious from the start.
See, like, they argue, but the fans who defend The Last Jedi argue that, well, the original trilogy, you know, the A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, A New Hope was not written with the idea of a sequel in mind. It was a one-off film initially. That's all they planned for. They didn't know it was going to be this huge success. They didn't know that it was going to spawn these 2 sequels. Now, thankfully, the 2 sequels, I mean, Empire Strikes Back is, in my opinion, the best of the Star Wars movies. They did a brilliant job with the 2 sequels. But that was just luck. In the case of the new trilogy, they knew from film number 1 that they were going to make 3 films. They announced that from day 1. Yep, we're going to make a new trilogy. To me, if you know that from the get-go, you plan it out. You put little nuggets, you know, little bits of information that are all going to come back together later and make a complete puzzle. Isn't that just logical? I don't understand how you write this amazing first film, in my opinion anyway. I thought the first Force Awakens was very fun. Yeah. And then have no idea of what you're going to do in the sequel. Like, it would have been far better off to just an outline, just a blueprint. Yeah. These are the events in the first film. These are the events in the second. These are the events in the third. And then you could have had little things happen along the way. That at
they
the
could have
end
at least
go,
at that stage.
That makes sense. That's what was happening.
They could have at least at that stage hinted at the, you know, even if this was, I still don't like it, but in episode 8, they could have at least at that stage even hinted at the existence of Palpatine.
Yes.
And it would have made sense.
Prime example. If we'd have known that there was a chance that he was hanging around, suddenly the last film wouldn't have been so jarring.
No. And not in this rush of a mess that I essentially was. Suddenly there were just these things that are just popping all over there, like a big armada of, you know, Star Destroyers that...
Oh my god, yeah.
Like, what? Where did you come from?
Where did that come from? You can't just put that in the film without an explanation. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense. And I'm not believing it. I'm not, you know... I'm not sitting there going, oh my god, he's got a whole armada. I'm sitting there going, this is bullshit.
See, exactly. And one other thing that I felt was really bullshit was, at the end of that, when the actual, the galaxy came in to help them out, and they're going, yeah, look, I don't know how slow galactic travel is, but I don't think you could have organized all those people to come in here. Even Facebook people don't organize things that quickly. that to me was like, what? Okay. But look, if they had made episode 8 actually something that was consistent with the flow of 7, 8, 9, and they introduced the creation of this armada in 8, and, you know, hinted at Palpatine being the puppet master for good or bad, then they could have focused in episode 9 on them actually traveling planet to planet and actually getting allies together to fight this. Yeah. And it would have made more sense. They would have had enough time to actually do that. Instead of just going to this one place where they met, was it Babu Freak? the the thing in there, and that was it. That was the only time that they ever actually encountered any other people besides their core group of players.
Oh, that's right. There was also that weird plot line of like the map. They had to get the map to find the blade.
It was,
and the
that's
blade
the thing.
would only show you this message in one particular
And
spot.
you have to hold
the light circumstance. Like,
yeah.
That's bullshit. Come
And that's
on.
it. None of it is
Basically,
believable.
disbelief can
It
only go
was
so
it just
far.
did. It was unearned. It was unearned.
It was unearned. It was.
So that's the thing.
Dumb.
That's the thing that was really thinking about. But on the flip side, I feel that the fact that we didn't have George Lucas write any dialogue, I think that's a positive.
Well, now, see, that's an interesting point there.
That-
I'm actually going to come to that because, of course, we have to mention the prequels somewhere here.
Yeah.
We have to mention Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, so on. Now, those three films were so corny. Like, the romance between Padme and Anakin is laughably corny. Like, it's... You remember
cringed.
it because it was so bad. But
If you remember, I put a tweet a while back that I went through my semi-yearly viewing of Star Wars, and this time I did it without skipping any of those cringe-worthy scenes. And I was like, oh, let this be over now.
they're so bad, but they're fun. Like, they're so bad that they become fun. Like,
They became
that
fun.
stupid scene on the balcony where Anakin's like, "You're so beautiful," and Padme goes, "It's because I'm so in love." Like, who writes that and actually says it out loud? So bizarre. But Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. They all have a cohesive plot line.
Yes.
It's not very well
Yes.
executed. Absolutely not very well executed at all. And it's got some terrible lines of dialogue. Padme dies of a broken heart. What? You've got space robots. She could have survived. Anyway,
You could
doesn't matter. The plot line from one film to the next makes sense.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing. I feel like that's the benefit of having actually one guy be the person that makes all these decisions instead of a committee.
Yeah.
Instead of
I mean, there was a disadvantage too because George Lucas wouldn't take criticism on the
yeah.
scripts.
So I'd
I
say
mean, his producer tried to tell him multiple times with the romance scene. He was like, "Do you really want Anakin to use a pickup line about sand?" And George was like, "No, it's romantic. Trust me."
oh Lord,
But
I mean,
the memes have been worth it.
it's been worth it. I don't know if there's any memes that are gonna come out of episode 7, 8, and 9 that are gonna be worthwhile repeating till the day we die. No, I don't think so.
I think they're more likely to be forgotten about, whereas the prequels have sort of stayed relevant. You know,
Stayed relevant, exactly. There's some memorable stuff in there. I mean, even just the character of Obi-Wan. That's Ewan McGregor is just precious. So
oh, perfectly cast, and he's now getting a miniseries on Disney Plus.
is that actually confirmed?
So
That's because I've been hearing like it's an on-off situation. So that's something that I hope happens. I'd love to see his adventures in Tatooine.
well, they had a problem. Apparently, there was a problem with the initial scripts where they were worried that it was too similar to The Mandalorian. They were worried because it was about Obi-Wan kind of raising Luke from afar and being this guardian from afar, which we know he was. Like, that's established in A New Hope. And they wrote that, which I would have loved to have seen. I think that sounds adorable. But then they were worried that it was too similar to The Mandalorian. And so they've gone back to the drawing board, which I think is just such a shame. I don't think there's a problem with it being the same as The Mandalorian. I would adore seeing tiny little Luke, just like harassing Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan has to parent him. I just think that sounds amazing. Let's do it. It worked for The Mandalorian. It can work for this. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
But no, they've changed direction now. So now I don't know what it's about specifically, except for Obi-Wan just getting loose on Tatooine.
Yeah. But
I hope he has a hoe phase. See, I was hoping for Rey's lineage. I had a theory that she was legitimately a secret Skywalker. Oh, do you mind if I tell you my theory? Because I was really attached to it.
Go for it.
All right, my theory was that she was actually the legitimate child of Han and Leia. Because I never believed for a second that Han and Leia...
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, guys. What is going on? Sorry, guys. I think we've lost Rose here. What is going on? She's frozen. Disney got to her. Oh no, they're silencing her. I'm gonna end her call here. I'm just gonna quickly message her. Unless this is a Skype thing and we're prevented from talking for too long. Give me a call. The power of the mouse is too strong. Oh, bloody hell. Sorry guys, we've been having technical issues all night. There we go. Are we back? There we go, we're back. What happened there?
I have no idea. It just suddenly said I've got no connection and it disconnected me. Am I there now?
Yep, you're there now. It's all working.
Okay, I apologize. Where did I cut off?
Your theory. Everyone has been saying at this stage that the mouse has gotten into you. Disney's gotten into you. They were trying to silence you. So what's your theory before we get?
Oh no, that makes total sense. I believe that 100%.
Yeah.
No. All right. So he was.
Oh no. Wait, hold on.
I figured this out.
Hold on.
Right.
We were losing you again. Hold on. I think. Go on. Let's see if this if this works. You're skipping a little bit. Okay. Can you hear me? Yeah. There we go. You're fine.
I'm sorry.
It looks like you're fine now.
Okay. All right. So back up. This is my initial theory. So I never believed that Leia and Han wouldn't have at least like 3 children, like they did in the books. Actually, like 4 children in the books, but it doesn't matter. So, because they're no longer canon apparently. There's no way they just had one child and then skipped. That's no.
Yeah, I mean this was the 80s.
Right? Space 80s too. My theory was also because.
No, sorry guys, we're losing her again. Okay, we lost that little thing.
Oh, no.
All right, go on. Oh, hold on, what's going on here? Are you still there? Nope, she's frozen. Okay. All right, it's still here. It still says you're here. Still says you're here, but this is all going. This is all going swimmingly. Let me just change things a little bit here. Okay, that seems to be working better now.
All right. So Daisy Ridley looks like Natalie Portman and Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
Right. There's a reason. They've cast it this way. My theory was that she's the legitimate daughter of Han and Leia. She is Kylo Ren's sister, right? Kylo Ren's like super stupid powerful with the Force, but he went rogue and he killed all the. But he didn't kill Rey because that's his sister and he does love her. What he's done instead is he left her on a remote planet and erased everybody else's memories of her. That's why when Han sees her in The Force Awakens, he kind of feels like he knows who she is, but he's not 100% certain. Like she feels familiar. And you know, this is why she's got the Force. This is why Kylo, as soon as he hears that the girl on Jakku with the Force, he's like, "Oh shit, my sister's come back." But he's erased everyone's memories. The coolest reveal, if we find out in the 3rd episode, like you know, we get some more hints along the way. In the 3rd movie, it's revealed that holy shit, the whole time she was Kylo's sister, and Kylo just removed everyone's memory.
Yeah.
She's a Skywalker. I would have loved that, but obviously, they went with the dumbest theory, which was that she's a secret Palpatine.
Secret Palpatine, which A, no one saw, and B, no one wanted.
No one wanted.
It
would have been better if she was a no one.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And again, that was something of something that I can almost appreciate that they did in episode 8. That they really didn't focus too much on her background. It was a unique idea, and I felt like that's a good idea. There's so much baggage with being a Skywalker that why not just be fresh about it? So this was a great idea that they were going with here. That it actually went into a new direction, and I felt like in that direction she's she could become anything. She could be whatever she wants to be, for a new generation of Star Wars, which is refreshing. I mean, I don't know. To me, I guess I'm somewhat of a progressive in terms of getting things moving along, as opposed to always looking back at what was, as far as things are concerned. So that's a difference of perspective. I'm sure that other people would have just not rather that. It's fine. If you would have rather that she was a secret Skywalker, yeah, great. But yeah, that they went in that direction. But no, they decided not. Let's retcon it. A movie straight after.
So weird, because you even had the scene at the end of The Last Jedi. There was that scene of the little slave boy forced to pick up a broom.
Yeah.
And the whole message that I got from that was anyone could be a Jedi. It's not always inherited. And I thought, oh yeah, okay, I can, I liked my Skywalker theory. If they're going to go in a romantic direction with Kylo Ren and Rey, obviously I don't want them to be siblings anymore. So,
no. Yes,
that's fine.
Big friendly gamer saying
that she could be an Obi-Wan's child or Obi-Wan's child, and I thought, you know what, I can kind of dig that too, because I like the idea of Obi-Wan having a bit of a queen.
Yeah.
I would have been into that.
Ryan is saying, is saying, as cheesy as that would be, I would have rather she be told she was a Skywalker. Yeah, for sure. And Sephi saying Skywalker incest isn't as acceptable in the 2020s. Yeah.
Hey, Game of Thrones did it. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, this is Disney though. It's not HBO. I do I want to say that Disney is really the thing that made all this shit? I don't know. Would I think the question is, would I rather that it just remained shelved? Because I feel like George Lucas was never gonna make another thing anyway. Another Star Wars, not in this lifetime. So that's why I was very excited and very happy that when it did go to Disney, I thought there was hope that there was gonna be more Star Wars stuff. I just did not get that this was where it was going.
The Mandalorian, and that was great.
And that's it. That was so. Again, it's possibilities are there when you have a consistent vision.
Oh, it's a huge universe.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean,
I've read
just with the fact that they've got Ahsoka coming in, and there was so much behind that story of that character that I would have loved to have seen into live action, into a more general universe that's more popular kind of thing. That would have been so good, and probably will be, because I reckon, aren't they creating an Ahsoka live action? They probably are.
Yeah.
If they haven't already.
She's gonna be in the Boba Fett news.
Okay. Oh yeah. From Mando. Wait, sorry. Ryan is saying from Mando, think Star Wars works better now as TV series. More time to go to the character. Yep. I think it does work out better as a series for sure. The Mandalorian. Me anyway. I do appreciate series to begin with, probably more than movies sometimes, because you just get so much more character development and a lot more time to flesh out stories. And now that everybody is stuck at home and watching, blockbuster movies on Disney Plus, on their TVs, this is actually the norm now. It's no longer just a niche that everybody gets into when, it's not just something that they watch when they download torrents or whatever. It's now just regular TV. And I think we might have already actually crossed over. We might actually cross over into that phase now where, sadly, cinemas are not going to be as popular. Maybe. I mean, I love going to the cinemas, but I also love just watching stuff on my own on my own TV. There's pros and cons on either way, and I feel like I guess in that sense, if we want to look at it again from another positive light, with Star Wars now being a something that's come under the banner of Disney, I do appreciate now that all of the titles are under Disney Plus. That I could go back in there. I know that there's tons of episodes of the Clone Wars that I've never seen, but now they're at my fingertips. They're all available there. I don't have to go searching the depths of the internet for someone's rip of them somewhere. And you've got all these other things that they're investing in, things like the Mandalorian, this future stories with Obi-Wan Kenobi, and so on. So those are the things I think that at least were positive that I find in the acquisition of Star Wars, of Disney for Star Wars. So
I'll always be disappointed because I read when I first got into Star Wars. I read the extended universe books with Mara Jade, and Han Solo and Leia had the twins, Jaina and Jaqen. They also had Anakin and Ben was Luke's son. Anyway, there was an extended universe, and they all had children. Now, the initial extended universe books are actually really, really good, way better than Disney prequels. Sorry, the Disney sequels, which obviously due to the age of Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher, time that came along, you couldn't have done those books anymore. But
yeah,
I mean, maybe we could have recast them and made the extended universe books into movies because they are good. Saying that though, even the extended universe books eventually become pretty shit because with the initial success of that first trilogy, the first Mara Jade trilogy, Mara Jade, for those who...
Oh no, we're losing you again. Wait, hold on with your thoughts with Mara Jade. I love Mara Jade. Wait, there we go, you're back.
I'm back? Okay, I do apologize. I don't know why that's happening.
It says poor connection, switch to audio only, so I could... Nah, we'll skip with this, because otherwise all I'm gonna do is put a screenshot of your face and put it on the screen. So let's stick with this for now.
Mara Jade was Luke's wife in the extended universe books, and she's an amazing character. She's such a badass. She starts off as a Sith, and then she has a proper earned redemption arc, not like Kylo Ren. And, eventually she marries Luke, and it's amazing. But those books kept going and going. And sort of anyone other than Timothy Zahn wrote that trilogy. He's the one that created Mara Jade. Yeah. But then they sort of made it a free-for-all where any author could jump on to the extended universe and just write their own Star Wars book that follows the Timothy Zahn trilogy. But that got really, really weird because you got some authors who weren't very good. There was one author who wrote a Luke and Mara book, and it was just smut. It was bizarre. They were having weird force sex and drinking hot chocolates, and I'm like, they have hot chocolates in space? This is weird. Anyway, it was a fun time, but
look, if Anakin could use the force to float a piece of apple and Padme will stab it with a fork, I don't see why Luke and Mara can't have force sex.
It was so detailed. I read that when I was like 13 years old because it was just in with the other Star Wars books at the library, and I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't read that one. Oh boy, it was explicit.
Big Friend the Gamer saying, could Star Wars go multiverse? Yeah.
Look, you could make a porno out of that book. It was like better than 50 Shades of Grey. I'll definitely say that.
Let's not kid ourselves. Let's not kid ourselves. There would have been pornos of this already. Yeah.
It was enlightening, and I've never been able to look at hot chocolates the same way ever again. They had this ritual in the book that every time they had forced sex, they would then drink hot chocolates together. I don't know, but this is just an example. Like that extended universe series of books just got way out of hand, and then eventually every author that joined wanted to kill a main character or wanted to have like the downfall of a main character.
Yeah.
So everyone except for Jaina turned evil, and everyone died.
Yeah.
Look, one after the other, and then they just you stopped reading them because they just became absolutely pointless. And the only one worth reading is Mara and Luke have sex for an entire book. No, I'm lying. The Timothy Zahn trilogy is worth it. Read it. If you
that's the most frustrating thing about this is that they had perfectly good stories right there.
Absolutely.
Like they didn't have to use all of them wholesale. They didn't have to go through everything that those books went through. But there was stuff in there that would have made so much more sense.
It was coherent.
It was coherent. I guess the only thing that I like about the current the final trilogy is that they are set with this huge time leap afterwards. That it wasn't something that immediately happened, which is what happened with the Timothy Zahn trilogies, that they were almost
Yes,
practically.
it was immediately after.
Yeah, there was directly pretty much. Floaty Man says, "What have I joined?" Yeah, for sex. That's what you joined.
Hey, I can tell you some more. Do you want me to get the book? It's in my room. I can pull it out and read you some little bits.
Yeah, maybe in a different titled podcast. But so that's just, it's kind of strange that they didn't go that way. But I did appreciate that there was a bit of a time skip, because for starters, it meant that they didn't have to sort of de-age the original cast. So that's a good thing. Erin, you still there? Okay, there you go. You froze there for a second. Okay, you're back again. So that was a good thing about it, that it wasn't something that had to be done that way. So you could just continue as they are. And I feel like there was also good now that you could say that the characters have sort of matured and are supposed to be more wise. Not milk drinking wise, but from I wouldn't say that drinking milk from those animals was wise in any universe, but there we go, we have it. So, but anyway.
Oh, it's someone's king, I'm certain.
Yeah. The other thing,
Probably
when they showed Luke's X-wing at the bottom of the sea, which means that it would have been there for a good number of years. I don't know how good the rust proofing is in that universe, but I really sort of go, oh no, why did you do that? You could have just put that against some rock and maybe put some moss or coverings on top of it. At least it's away from water all this time, because it's Luke's Red 5. But yeah, anyway. So I don't know. Did we achieve our goal here today of seeing the flip side of the Star Wars Episode 7, 8, 9? I'd say that we
actually.
Yep. What have you got?
Sorry, I was going to mention one more positive.
Yep. Go for it.
Trilogy. Star Wars Land at Disneyland.
Yeah.
That is a result of the new trilogy, and I've never been happier in my life than I was when I went to Disneyland in Anaheim. Very luckily, I went in November 2019, so right before the pandemic.
Yep.
I had a 10-day pass to Disneyland, and I spent most of my time in the Star Wars area, because it was just breathtaking. The Millennium Falcon is right there, you can see it, and Kylo Ren's just walking around, Rey's walking around. It was before Rise of Skywalker came out. Disappointed with the series at this point. It was just, I almost cried when my very last day in the Star Wars area at Disneyland, when I knew I had to go back to Australia the next day. I was so sad, because I'm like, I could just live here. Disney, you can pay me your shit wages, because I think they pay people $5 to $7 an hour to work at Anaheim Disneyland. I was gonna turn up at the front gate and be like, I don't care, give me your absolute low wages, just let me live in Star Wars Land.
Yeah.
They probably would have said yes, I don't know, but that was great. That was a result of the new films. And when I was trying to think of a positive thing to say about the new films, that was the only thing I could come up with for about an hour.
Okay.
It's not really relevant to the movies at all.
Big Friendly Gamer saying, hear about those Star Wars hotels they are going to open. No, I haven't actually heard about any hotels. Where are they going to be coming from? Never heard of this. I wish we could go into a hotel. Anywhere. Any hotel.
Anywhere. Yeah,
it doesn't matter if it's a Star Wars hotel or anything like that. I would love to be anywhere else at this stage. Disney Resort Star Wars Star Cruisers. Is that what they're calling them? Star Cruisers. And have hot chocolate. Yeah. Oh, okay. Bloody Man saying that, go to the hotels and have hot chocolate. I don't know.
Yeah, they need hot chocolate vending machines in all the rooms. And they need 5 copies of that one book in every room. It's amazing that book isn't famous on the internet, because I feel like I dreamt it.
It'll be like one of those Gideon Bibles that they put in the shelves of hotels. Except it's now that book.
Look, I need to find that book. I need to upload some pages online, because, as I said, I was 13 the first time I read that, and I never expected in the universe standard like Star Wars literature that's out there, that there would be a pornographic book where Luke would just have sex a whole book. Forced sex. I feel like more people need to know of its existence.
Yeah. Okay. Look, that's a good positive. I think, and I feel that at this stage, that's a good positive to end on. Thank you, everybody, for actually sticking with us today. It's sort of meandering. I feel at this stage that we probably discussed more on the negative side than on the flip side, positive sides to the stories. Which, again, this is the first episode of this podcast, and I'm not entirely sure where we were going to go with it to begin with. I feel like at least we discussed some positives to the final 3 trilogy. And there was things that we got out of it. But I feel that at the end of it, the thing that really, like, this is going to be sappy now, but I feel that the thing that made this all positive is that it brought everybody together. It hit how much that they have not liked the results here. And that it's sort of, for better or worse, defined what it is to like Star Wars. Because I've spoken to this not just with hardcore fans, but also just people who I know from the office. And they know, they've seen that this is not great. This is not good. That none of it was consistent and it was just not the best. It wasn't just as fun as it could have been. And it's a good talking point and got everybody sort of just being together and having a punching bag that everybody agreed on. So in that sense,
everybody united in their hate.
Yep, everybody united in their hate. So this is like everybody falling to the dark side. This is one way or the other. We're all together at least. So I'd call that a positive. So that's probably how we're gonna end this stream tonight, in that positive note, since that was supposed to be the point of this stream here. So thank you again, Rose, for coming tonight to this little first episode that we've gotten here. Hope everybody there enjoyed what we sort of discussed, for better or worse. I'll be looking to do a little bit more of these with different ideas, probably different guests as well. Would you be interested in coming into future episodes, Rose? Discussing other...
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, great. Because at this stage, I don't know if there's anybody else that I have in mind to invite to these podcasts. So thank you very much again for joining me, and everybody out there, thank you very much again for joining us in this stream here. So I wish you all a very good night, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. Bye.